Hello there, everybody. It's DJ. Hi. So, for class today, what we're going to do is, sorry, I gotta make sure my phone's turned off before, just in case anybody calls. Um, so, we're going to do an update on COVID, because this new variant has been extremely powerful. So, it's affecting people who've been vaccinated, been boosted. Um, yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to go away anytime soon. Well, hopefully soon. But like I said, it's pretty powerful. Um, some people call it the Houdini. Well, at least I've heard it called the Houdini of the variants. It just seems to be able to break into and out of anything. So I hope you're staying cool and inside. And I know we've sheltered in place, but I think it's good for the time being. Well, most of us have. I mean, staff are going out. Sometimes they take people with them, but the majority for most of our schedules is staying in. Sorry, I just showered and it's warm, so my hair's sticking to the sweat on my head. Because I don't have the air conditioning on because it's right here and it's too loud to do the video during that. So, let's go over this. And this is technically a safety training because we're supposed to talk about COVID and make sure that we're always up to date. So, this is what I found. So, people who recently caught COVID can wait a few months to get an Omicron booster, is what the health officials are saying. So, people who recently caught COVID can wait a few months to get the new Omicron. So, it's a new Omicron booster. So, that's the new news. White House COVID response coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha said on Tuesday. And this is back on September 6th. So, it's not very old at all. I don't even, yeah, my time's kind of up in the air. Studies have found people who caught COVID after vaccination have substantial protection against the virus, so it's still best to be vaccinated and boosted. Though the data is based on Omicron variants that are no longer circulating in the U.S., and immunity wanes over time, which just means the vaccines and everything over time. It's just like the flu. Over time, you're still going to be susceptible to it. And if you've had it, it's not fun to have. It's really not. A lot of people have said it's the worst sickness they've had. I've talked to some people who have had it, and they're like, it wasn't that big of a deal. I've had worse. But it all depends. I don't think you want to play with that fire, because if it is one of the worst infections you've ever had, well, you're going to regret it. So it's best to, not. But again, this is good news for those of you who have had, and then, well, let's keep going. So it says, if you've had a recent infection or were recently vaccinated, it's reasonable to wait a few months, Zhao told reporters during a new conference Tuesday. Zhao said everyone else age 12 or older should get a booster shot as soon as they can, particularly the elderly, people with serious medical conditions, and those with weak immune systems. So the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, and Prevention last week cleared boosters that targeted the dominant Omicron the BA.5 variant. People ages 12 and up are eligible for the new shot at least 2 months after completing their primary 2-dose series or the most recent booster with the old vaccines. So, it is a new one, so this is relevant information. People who are vaccinated and recently caught COVID can wait 3 months to get their next shot. So, let's say for some reason you got COVID today, you wait until you don't have any symptoms, you test negative, and then, this was yesterday is when this came out. So then you would wait September to October, October to November, November to December. So December would be the earliest that you could. And right now, your body, like if you did get it, and say you went through all that, your body would build up these antibodies and things like that. So, but it'll still be good so that you don't catch it again, and you're not going to want it. So you'd be able to get it right before Christmas, anyway. Not before the holidays, but right before Christmas, which would be good. So that if you're going anywhere, you're not going to be spreading, the the BA5 COVID cheer to everyone, which it's not cheer. I'm just being sarcastic, but yeah. Okay, so can get boosted can result in, so after an infection to get boosted can result in a stronger immune response from the shot, according to the CDC. Ja told reporters back in July that breakthrough infections in people who are vaccinated have become more common since the Omicron BA5 variant became the dominant form of COVID over the summer. Omicron BA5 is the most contagious and immune evasive form of the virus yet, Joss said at the time, which is, like they call it, the Houdini, because it's just evasive, can get, it'll find any, as they say, chinks in the armor, any little spot, any situation that you might be in with a big crowd of people or anything like that. Make sure you're wearing your masks, gloving up, doing all that good stuff. So it's unclear how long people are protected after recovering from a BA5 infection, Ja said in July. The CDC previously thought that infection provided about 90 days of protection, though it's become more common for people to get reinfected before then, Ja said. Well, that's not the best news. So even that 90 days that they're at, so did they say 2 months or 3 months that you should wait? Okay, it says a few months, so maybe even November. Yeah, do 2 months. So let's see. Where was I? So it's unclear how long people are protected from recovering a 90-day, though it's become more common for. Okay, that's where we are. Data from Moderna's clinic trial of Omicron BA1 shots showed people with a previous infection who received the booster had the strongest immune response. So the people with a previous infection who received the booster had the strongest immune response. So that's good. This means people who were previously infected and get an Omicron booster might have longer protection against COVID, according to a presentation from last week's CDC's committee on the shots. So people who received 3 shots with the original vaccines and then caught COVID had more than 70% protection against infection from the BA1 and BA2, and now we're at BA5. I mean, there's a lot of variants. But had really good protection against those variants, according to a study. But people who received 2 doses and caught COVID had more than 50% against infection. Okay, so let's see. Let me break that down. Oh, so basically it goes up like 20%. So, my immune system, an immune system right now, or when COVID first came out, and you get your first 2 shots and then your booster, you have a 70% protection rate against infection. If you just got the first 2 shots and no booster, you had a 50% protection rate, which, that's 20 more percent, which is significant, very significant. So let's see what they have to say about this next one. But the study might not translate well to the U.S. because Qatar's population is much younger, with only 9% of the residents age 50 or older, compared to more than a third of all Americans. Omicron BA1 and BA2 are no longer circulating in the U.S. Yay! However, the new dominant BA.5 variant is very similar to those earlier ones. So HHS Secretary, Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Barrera said on Tuesday that public health officials are particularly focused on making sure people ages 50 and older get boosted this month. And the CDC cleared a fourth dose of the old vaccines in March for this age group. A fourth dose was about 56% effective at preventing hospitalization from Omicron BA.5 4 months after receiving the shot. But again, so if you know anyone that's 50 or older, let them know, they can get that fourth shot, which should help. So U.S. health officials believe that the new boosters will provide stronger and more durable protection against COVID because the shots target the Omicron BA.5 variant, whereas the old vaccines were developed against the original strain of the virus that emerged in Wuhan, China in 2019. Sorry, I'm a little tired. So U.S. health officials believe the boosters will provide stronger and more durable protection against COVID because the shots target the Omicron variant, whereas old vaccines were developed. Okay, so basically, they're saying that this new vaccine is obviously it's been developed for the BA.5 variant specifically. So really, we're just kind of knocking out variants as we go along. And, and which is a good thing, because the more information we have and the more that that's available to you, the better, because I want to make sure that we're all safe and happy. And so, let's stay that way so we can get healthy and really get back to program. Because we were having fun for a while there, even if it is just a few of us. But, I'd really like to get back to where we want to be. So we have more choices, more people to go with, and see more people. Even though I think that we have a grand old time. So stay safe. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And I will follow this up with something for the afternoon class. All right. Ciao, y'all.